Episode 19, welcome back. It's great to have you back after Portrush and multiple weeks. It feels like you've been here, there and everywhere in a great way. So first of all, how do you feel after the North?
How do I feel after the North? Yeah, good. It was, I was telling a few people, you know, having won championships in the past, you know, when you have enough good stuff to win. I felt I definitely had enough good stuff to win. But Portrush is that course that will catch you out, and I'd never kind of crib or, you know, I got this break or that break, but I did get two really bad breaks in round two, pretty close together. And I was 4 over through 4, thinking I was kind of, Jesus, I'm playing lovely, like, and, you know, I didn't find the second shot into the second, and then literally slid my wedge under the same shot twice on the fourth, just trying to hit a nice little chip off the bank. So that kind of stopped me in my tracks a small bit. That was, looking back, that was probably the momentum killer, because, you know, I went from nearly leading the tournament after round 1 to kind of making the cut on the number, and then shot a lovely round again, round 3 in the morning, back up to top 5, and ended up finishing 8th in the end, like, you know. So it's a course you have to respect. It's a course you have to strategize on. You know, there's some really, really good holes there, like some great holes. Like 8 is an unbelievable hole. 14 for me is an unbelievable hole, because, you know, to look at it, it's not that long. You have to hit 2 proper golf shots there. If you're off on the second shot, you more than likely are dropping a shot. You know, then you have 15 a great hole, 16, they're just all, you can't switch off, like, you know. So I like that. I like kind of staying in as much as possible. So yeah, taking away, sure, it's my favourite place to play golf, so I was happy out there, you know. Whether you're making a double bogey, triple bogey, or a birdie or an eagle, it's all the same, like, you know. Probably a bit disappointed I didn't get into the real thick of it. I started on the 10th in the 4th round, and I was trying to get to 2 under through 3, because you have a par 4, 2 par 5s, and I was level par through 3. So, you know, I was kind of against the grain there straight away. So I kind of pushed, you know, I've no interest in places. I've just, like, if I can birdie as many holes as I can and try and win it, and that didn't work out. You can go backwards very quickly then on that golf course, you know. So that was it. It was enjoyable. Weather was amazing. Golf course was unbelievable. Golf Ireland did a great job. It was all very seamless. Just a pity I didn't do any better.
Have you seen Portrush in that condition before, given the Indian summer?
I've never seen it in poor condition, ever, in all my years going there. It's just why I respect that place so much, you know what I mean? But it was perfect. Firm green. The greens were firm, so it was playing. It was playing to guys who are hitting fairways or in position, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're all running at a nice speed. I was out early on one of the days, and the greens were just so good, like, you know. So, yeah, no, you can't fault Portrush.
Lovely. Looking at the season as a whole, I feel that you really came into yourself. It's almost like you ran out of road almost, given the form you came into, especially in the last couple of weeks. But in saying that, then looking back at even earlier in the summer, the Munster stroke play, where you started unbelievably well. So I suppose, just from your own point of view, would you be satisfied overall with the season you had?
No, not really. I suppose, looking at the numbers or the what I got out of it. You know, I think, you know, these are little things I think of. I think I like a shot under par rounds in every tournament I played in, yet I didn't win much. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of good there. My swing feels good. There's a lot of pressure on the ball. I'm hitting the ball well. My putting went through a really poor patch mid-season. I worked on that. So that kind of improved things. Won the Irish Mid-Amateur. Delighted to win that. My plan was to try and win one of the last 3. If not, as you know, all of them would have been great. Didn't play the best in Woodbrook. Had a nice first round. Didn't capitalise on that. Same in Portrush, had a nice first round, didn't necessarily capitalise, but did okay, like, you know. So sure, all you can do is forget the bad and hold on to the good and work on that. That's kind of the way I've always operated in golf, you know. So it's nice to get a win. Weirdly enough, I'll try and continue to shoot the best scores I can here now in Douglas until the season wraps up. Work on shooting scores and try and stay as competitive as I can, you know?
Yeah, I really think that's a differentiator in you. We're thinking back on one of the podcasts, you said when your head hits the pillow, you remember the good shots over the bad shots, where it would be quite common to think the opposite, right?
Yeah. Well, I just take a lot of pleasure in a good golf shot, whether it's me hitting it or anybody else. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, and I would tell people I play with, geez, that was a proper shot now, or you know, I'd see it and you'd know it. So I hit some great shots in Portrush, like really high quality golf shots. Now I hit some poor shots as well, but I hit some good shots that were aggressive. You know, that 11th hole is a par 5 up there, and when you're on that green you can look back and see what guys are hitting off the tee, or when you're on the third green 4 tee, you can see down 11 as well. I hit driver there every day, and I was hitting wedge into the green, and I was kind of saying, I was seeing guys hitting iron, and that's their choice, that's their strategy, you know. But I always think, like, it's a tough shot, it's a tough tee shot, you know. It's visually tough to look at. You have to hit a proper shot down there. The reward is unbelievable if you do, because it's not a long par 5. It's only like 480 hole, but you know, you can hit an iron to the corner, you can hit an iron that you run up the green grand. To me, that's not taking the hole on, like, you know. Yeah. And I suppose people will know in the back of their minds why they don't like that, you know. Like the first hole in Portrush, I was looking at like huge numbers. Again, like, it's visually tight. There's out of bounds left, out of bounds right. There's 2 bunkers. But I'd imagine if you walked from the stake to the stake across, it's probably 70, 80 yards wide, like. Jesus. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I hit 3 rescues off the tee, and I hit driver the last day because it was into the wind. Now, I played the hole well for the week, but it's again what someone sees and how they perceive it, and if they're, I suppose, ballsy enough to just overcome the shot. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot. That's why Portrush is such a good golf course, because it puts you on the spot all the time, you know.
Yeah, you were giving great insights after each round on your Instagram, and you did mention in one of them that your driver wasn't playing ball per se. What was going wrong, and how soon do you decide, okay, I'll put this away for the day?
I never put it away. You can't on that golf course. You can and you can't. I don't think, no, when I say, like, I hit the ball nicely in the first round, even though I had a few right misses going with the driver. And if I'm very honest with myself, it's the fear of going left. You know, it's just a fear of going left. You don't want to go left on the first. Probably don't want to go left on any hole in Portrush, like, you know. And then subconsciously you're probably guarding against that. But every time I really stepped on a driver, in my head, kind of high 120 swing, I hit it straighter. You know, because I just said, no, I'm going to commit to this now, and whatever happens, happens. Like, you can take on the 5th hole there, par 4 that goes down. Like, I actually hit it over the green twice, and they were great shots in my head. They were proper high 180s, if not 190 ball speed. But funnily enough, then I come to 7, the par 5, which is crying out for that. I didn't have it because I was a bit fearful of the miss, you know. Yeah. Which is annoying. That's what I need to work on. Holes like 8, could I have stepped up and smashed the driver over the corner? I could have, but I didn't. I hit rescue there. Like, no, I played the hole fine. Holes like 15, I did do it because it kind of suited my eye. Whereas I saw a lot of guys go right, I was belting it over the corner, which was great. 17, again, you can take it on. I was taking that on. 18, you kind of can't. So if I was very harsh on myself, which we will be, I suppose the slight mental fear of missing left was resulting on a maybe right miss with the driver. But not destructive. Don't think I lost any tee balls. No, I didn't. Not even, maybe one provisional, but any of the problems I had were on second shots there, you know.
Okay. I'm listening to a lot of Bob Rotella, and he mentioned the Arnold Palmer quote the other day, which was, if you're going to hit a bad shot, basically it was something along the lines of, you don't want your best shot to be your first shot. You know, if you're going to hit a bad shot, you'd rather it be your first and get it out of the way and be able to recover. is that a course as well with Portrush?
Yeah, I don't know.
Suits that?
Yeah, I don't know now would I buy into that, but you know, take McIlroy in the Open the last time Shane went up there. Like he hit his first tee shot out of bounds, and I think made 8 on the first, and missed the cut by a shot. Like it can just like it can get into your head. You know, honestly, I have hit driver on the first in Portrush plenty of times, but I hit rescue because I said I hit that rescue well. I can get it out there 260. Like so, I can commit to this, and I played the hole in -1 for 4 rounds, which is a good return on that hole, very good return. You know, but there, even the 4th hole, great hole, visually tough off the tee. I have this chip drive shot that I like that kind of goes left to right. I was in the middle of the fairway every day, and I played that hole in 4 over. You know what I mean? So all the problems came in my second shots.
Gotcha.
5 over actually, triple, 2 pars, triple, and a double. Fuck, that triple was so annoying, so unlucky. Anyway, let's get over that. But look, again, I take away a lot of good shots. I always see a high fading iron into the 6th green. I was able to pull that off. That was great because I was having problems fading my irons all season. Need to trust my faster swings on my driver more. Yeah, that's the synopsis really.
Brilliant. We actually might do a full podcast on a season, on your season highlights and lowlights and all that. But you got a number of great questions on Instagram the other night, so I'll touch on 3 of those now. And firstly, from Niall Cronin, he asks, "What is your main swing thoughts from shots within 100 yards?" So from 100 yards,
So wedge
40
shots?
to 100 yards, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, little nuggets there. I like to maintain height in my backswing of the club, and I like to keep my chest moving and almost feel high through the ball. A lot of people have problems with contact in those distances, and to get super technical, you might, if you're videoing yourself and you have problems with your contact, you may see a lot of flexion happening in your knees, or you know, your hips getting low or your chest getting low. So the feel for me, and I actually wedged the ball quite nicely up there. Nice speed. If you look at Horschel's wedge shot into Wentworth at the weekend there, like that is the epitome of a good wedge shot. And I actually was watching the golf, and I don't know who was in the house, maybe one of the kids. I said, "Watch this wedge shot," you know, like they're not even watching the TV, because I saw him hit the same wedge shot the year he won a couple of years ago. You know, club had loads of height, loads of chest speed, nice and tall through the ball. You know, it's lovely. Like, so he obviously is comfortable with whatever number he was hitting there. I would imagine it fell into a real comfortable number for him because he didn't even take too much time. He just got over loads of speed, loads of control, and then you can see the flight and how it reacts. You know, so
On that, given he had hit such a similar shot before, that's in the bank. Like, you know, you knew when he was hitting that, so like there was just no other result other than
it's in the bank. You can see he was like couldn't wait to hit the shot almost, and he's that type of player. You know, you can see it in his body language. Like he's really up for this, or he's really going to enjoy it. And it, like I played there a few weeks ago. It's not the hardest wedge shot in the world, but like there's enough problems there that you can dump it into the water. You can, you know, the people can make mistakes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But he sees that differently. He sees he was trying to hold that shot, like, you know.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, different level completely, but really, really good. I suppose, so back to his, you know, if Niall wanted to go back on YouTube and watch that wedge shot, I think he might see height of the club, good structure in the legs, and lots of speed, high chest.
Nice. Spot on. Another question from Mark Stevo. In a pressure situation, what tends to be your mindset?
The pressure situation is the thing I like to get into. So I love it because my mindset then probably goes to really awareness of the situation, what my nearest competitors are doing, where they are in the golf course. If they're in my group, even better. That was the case in the Irish Mid-Am. It was great. I said this in the previous podcast, when sometimes a tournament can kind of come your way, you know it's coming your way, you just need to manage yourself. So that is in itself a little bit of pressure. So it comes back to the simple things, making the correct decisions, commitment, backing yourself, commitment to the shots. I was only hoping I'd probably get into the mix in Portrush because I felt, number one, I'd love to win there, but number two, I'd love to feel a bit of pressure around that course. Because you're playing a really good, tough course. Like when I watch back, and I do watch the replays of the Opens quite often, like, you know, I'm so admirable of like Shane winning the Open in Portrush. Like, Christ almighty, like what a thing to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. Like, for him to do that in the way he did it. And even what I was walking down 18 trying to imagine, I was actually looking up going, how high were the stands here, like? And what must that have felt like for him, you know, knowing like he could probably take 5 more shots and still win, to enjoy that. Like, and he did an amazing job of that as well, like, you know. So I suppose back to the question, what do I feel like? First of all, I love being in that position. It's a different position. It almost kind of, you know, heightens your awareness. And if you can manage that through good decisions and commitment to the shots, I think you'll do all right, you know.
Brilliant.
Which is, by the way, back to my disaster in Lahinch, I completely lost awareness in that situation.
Okay.
No, learning from that, you know.
Yeah.
So if that helps that person, when you do lose awareness under pressure, that's where people can choke then. That's where heads can fall off. Like.
So just to elaborate on that, you lost awareness. So like, was in that situation, was it just a hidden hope?
It's everything. I lost awareness of I was 2 up in the match.
Gotcha.
With 3 to play, because I had missed the putt to go 3 up with 3 to play, and that felt like the loss for me. So then literally my head fell off, like, and I went up onto the 16T, and it was hit and hope. Yeah, it was, yeah, and that hit and hope type of mentality carried on all the way through. On a look, if the weather was flat calm, I would have 100% won that event, 100%. It's just, and that's not, you know, taking anything away from the weather or my ability to play in weather. It just got massively magnified on those few holes. There were left misses on right to left howling winds, you know what I mean?
More chaos.
More chaos, exactly, more scramble. So it's, I suppose if anyone listening has gone through that and you feel you're just completely in a tizzy, you've lost awareness. So if you are aware, if you can be aware you've lost awareness, you can put a stop sign on it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But, and I had a taste of it and I was able to stop it, thankfully. Like in Tipperary, in the Irish Mid-Amateur on 16, hit a nice tee shot, got a bad kick. I was kind of under a tree in my backswing, hit the thing too hard, bounced out the back, and kind of tinned a chip shot across the green. And now I was in an awful position. So I was looking at a 6. Now I got up and down for 5, really grinded there, and that was the end of that. I calmed, parred 17, birdied the last, won the tournament, but that could have gone the other way very quickly, and then you've choked again, you know what I mean? But it was a learning from, it doesn't matter the size of the event, it was a learning from the first one into that, you know?
Yeah, and to get back awareness then, you just kicked into gear?
I was aware that I was losing awareness at that point.
Perfect.
I just tinned a wedge, a chip shot,
Yeah.
and I'm like, right, I'm aware now that my head is starting to fall off again. And I took my time, took a lot of time, and got myself back into the 4th shot, and a nice up and down, 5, grand, crisis over. Gathered myself on 17, nearly birdied 17, birdied last, so.
That's brilliant, well done. And then similar questions to finish from Pierce M and Aaron, who asked, how would you structure practice with limited time?
Yeah, good question. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. I don't have the time I had before to put in the proper practice. I'm a big advocate of, I suppose, practicing. So what are you practicing, first of all? What do you need to practice? And if you're limited on time, if you're wedging now is a problem, that should be your sole focus. Some people respond to smaller pockets of practice, right? I'm going to do a little bit of block practice, be disciplined, go to driving range, actually break the balls into blocks. We talked about that before. Sometimes you can just think about it, you know what I mean? I know that sounds crazy, but I think about it all the time, movements, and I'm rehearsing movements, different movements in the gym. You can do an awful lot in a mirror as well, like, you know, if they're really stuck for practice, hitting balls into a net, you don't necessarily need the feedback. If you're very, I suppose, biomechanically minded, or if you're in that state of that's where I am, that's where I need to be progressing, I need to be working on something, if they're getting lessons off someone and they're getting to do drills, you can do an awful lot there. There is a lot of people think I have to hit ball, or this thing of I have to hit the best shot on the range before I go to the tee. Like bullshit, I'm just going to say it. It's irrelevant, you know what I mean? Like we could get up on the tee and do activation exercises and get your heart rate up and get your body looser and hit a shot. You don't need to hit balls, you know? You don't need that affirmation before you go to the tee. You just don't. Yeah. So that's why people can use movements, ghost swings I call them, you know, exaggeration training, things like that. That could be very well put together. If they're videoing it and they're seeing the change, they're feeling what the change is, yeah, then go to a net, then go to a range, progress it before you go to the course. But that might be a better way to use one's time.
Brilliant. It's also worth delving into perhaps over the next few weeks, coming into off season. Yeah. But right now we'll leave it there. That's one of our longer pods, but all really good stuff. So thanks a million, and we'll be back next week with episode 20.